Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. This is Sound Booth Theater Live, requests only. We got three really cool, well, potentially really cool requests. You never know. Except I'm pretty sure every time Jun Prince requests something, it's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining.
Well, thank you for that. I was
And
going to say, I'm not cool.
June,
Don't lie.
June is here.
Yes, I'm
As you can,
colorful.
yeah, as you can see, he had some major sunburn happening on him yesterday, and it caused his face to turn into a bunch of colored bars. So um, I hope you guys aren't offended by that. Um, I'm sure June's a little bit embarrassed about it, but I think that everyone here who watches the show is accepting and understands that we have mistakes sometimes in life. But uh, let's get on with it. First of all, though, I have to tell you guys that we are now sponsored by Studio Bricks. I'm really excited about this because I've been using this Studio Bricks booth for the last couple of years. Um, and I'm actually selling this booth to Annie. And we'll be delivering this to her as soon as I get my brand new booth. And also Will Watt, a new narrator with us now, who's currently working on Save Point by Matthew Siege. He's got a Studio Bricks booth, and I'm going to be buying probably two more booths this year from them. So I buy Studio Bricks booths because they're easy to put together, and they're good looking, and they get the job done. I've never had any issues with sound, with extraneous sound outside this booth. Sometimes you like things that you would expect to bleed through don't. So it's an incredibly effective product. And for any of you out there who are aspiring voice actors or who are indie audiobook narrators yourselves and you're looking to upgrade, go check out studiobricks.com. They have some of the best booths on the market, and you can find the link in the description below. Now, June,
Yes.
we're going to start with you today. And
Okay. Yeah, you just won't be able to see my lovely face, unfortunately.
right, it's cool. I think people are okay with it. They'll complain if not. It sounds like you have another YouTube somewhere else in your house playing because I can.
Hmm. I'm
Um,
wearing headphones, so that's kind of weird.
it might be like do you have another computer somewhere else that could be playing it on accident?
No, I don't.
Huh. Okay. Well, it's probably just coming through your headphones. No big deal. All right. It's not super loud or anything. But
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
wearing
go for it.
headphones, and I don't.
And let's see. Here we go. Wanted to check out your cover here because it's nice and festive. I think it's funny that you made that you made a Christmas themed gamelit here.
Yep.
Can you run us through what's going on with this book?
All right. You hit the nail on the head. It's a Christmas themed, holiday themed GameLit book. And it's all about going to save Santa when he turns evil. He didn't get his dose of winter Christmas cookies, and now they have to go and find the greatest cookies in all the land to bring him back to goodness. Uh, so that's pretty much the storyline of the book, and a couple scenes. The first short one is a baking scene where we get these Kebla elves, where they're being motivated to save Christmas by baking their asses off like they've never baked before. And the other battle scene is on the way to Arctica, which is where Santa lives in the
Nice. So is this a full length one? Is this a full length novel?
story. Yeah, it's full length. It's about 500 pages, and yep, no audiobook yet, but it's a full length novel, and it was a lot of fun to write.
Excellent. Have you heard that Weird Al song, "The Night Santa Went Crazy"?
I don't think I've heard that one.
The night Santa went crazy, the night Kris Kringle went nuts, realized he was getting a raw deal. Something finally must have snapped in his brain. Something like that. It's about him going postal and killing everybody at the South Pole. So it sounds like it's very similar to your book.
Hmm.
I always thought
Yep,
like
Santa goes evil and he starts hurting people, and they have to get the greatest cookies in all the land in order to redeem his goodness and save Christmas, or Winterfest, as they say in the game.
well, what's great about this is that your villain is um, highly sympathetic, right? It's really easy. It's one of those villains that you can really relate because I mean he does a lot of work for everybody,
Yes, he does.
and when you take away his only compensation, which is the damn cookies,
And the
then
milk. Can't forget
and
about the milk.
well, yeah, I mean that's like that's the package deal. Like one without
Yes.
the other doesn't make sense anyway. So what choice does he have at that point but to go nuts and start killing people?
Yep.
So yeah, I love
So,
it.
yeah, I can't. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. I was done.
So yeah, leading into that, they part of the quest is to find the lost tribe of Kebla elves who make delicious baked treats, and they left the North Pole centuries ago because they believed that Santa was treating them as a slave race, and he went evil 500 years ago, and now they're the only ones that can save them. In the scene that you're about to read, um, the only thing that might you might want to mention is that it's illegal to ask questions in their hideout. It's part of a magical protection, so nobody will ask a question. All questions have to be phrased as statements.
Oh,
So that's why they talk the way they do.
so they're
It's
like
illegal to ask a question. So if you want to know something, you have to say, "Oh, it'd be really good to know," and fill in the blank, or and says, "Are you going to kick evil's ass?" It has to be, "You are going to kick evil's ass." Confirmed. Uh,
it's like the opposite of Jeopardy.
yes,
Awesome.
no questions. So,
Cool. All right. So, all right. Can you remind me who our MC is? And because it's first
so
person, so I got to be.
Justine.
Yeah,
So
that's
yes,
right. That's right. Okay.
yeah, and she's confident. This first one, it's mostly just her watching things happen, so you don't really have much to say from her. Um, but yeah, she's a confident half elf, and she's the leader of her guild and the party. Um,
You know what? I think that's. I'm sorry. I think that's me. I'm gonna go check outside to see if like my other computer in the other room is on YouTube. One sec.
okay. Yeah, sorry guys, I can't get my camera working. I'm just a bunch of bars. Oh, it sounds like you found it. Woo!
I don't remember opening that down here.
You got it.
I got it. Got rid of that nonsense. Okay. What were you saying just now?
Just saying that my face is a bunch of bars,
Oh yeah.
and
I'm sure that's uncomfortable for you.
yeah, like
It,
I'm not sure about those pastels on the right.
it looks painful.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I think you'll bounce back. All right. So, Justine with the voice with the nice butt.
Yes,
Yes.
you remember that. So, so yeah, we've just big double doors open, and we're looking into a giant kitchen with hundreds of elves preparing to bake for their lives.
Okay. Ionian is an elf,
Yeah, he's an elf. That's like his only line here.
and these are Keebler-sized elves. That's a total coincidence, obviously, that you.
Oh yeah,
Elves, Keebler.
purely coincidental.
Yeah.
Kebla elves, and Kebla council.
Okay. All right. Is there anybody else in here that I should prepare for?
It's like, so the main guy that's going to be talking in this section is, give him like a drill sergeant voice.
Oh, the Ionian.
No, not him. The guy that comes in right after he talks. You'll see.
Okay.
From where he says, "It's been years, centuries."
Okay. Got it. You know, Andrea Parsnow was going to join us for Sound Booth Theater Live, but she had to bow out last minute. She could have had the nice butted voice. She missed out.
Every time we miss it just by a hair.
Ionian gives us a curt nod. I will introduce you to our bakers. As if on cue, wide, heavy doors swing open, revealing countless baking stations and Kebla elves in toque
Yeah, toque blanche.
Toque blanches standing at attention. What is that? Is it toque blanche?
That's the poofy chef hat.
Oh, okay. A commanding chef in a red coat rather than white paces before the assembled bakers, hands behind his back, barking militaristic shouts. It's been years, centuries, but you are called back to duty to serve the North. We are not slaves, but saviors. The world needs us. Great Uncle Winter has gone evil, and he needs your baking. Sugar cookies, thin mints, fudge-striped coconut, chocolate chip, and peanut butter. We need them all. You will be tired, you will be frantic, and by frost you will bake the best cookies of your entire lives. Confirmation? Hundreds of bakers answer in unison. Yes, chef! I didn't hear you! I didn't think it was possible for so many voices to grow louder, and yet they do. Yes, chef! He walks deeper into the room and gets into the face of a small, rosy-cheeked woman with longer than average ears and a cute nose. You are going to kick evil's ass with your macaroons! Confirm! The response, yes, chef! You are going to save Winterfest with your gingerbread men! Confirm! Yes, chef! He drifts back to the front and faces the assembled bakers. Today is a day for the histories. In 5,000 years, your children will sing your names. It's time to put on your armor of powdered sugar, jelly, and cream cheese frosting and send your confections to war. The fate of Winterfest lies in these ovens and in your hands. Bake, chefs, bake! He salutes the chefs, and the kitchen explodes in a whirlwind of culinary motion. Everywhere I look, bakers blur about preparing dough, melting chocolate, and readying their ingredients. They moved like cogs in a perfectly efficient machine. I'm about to ask about using fire to bake in a living tree, when a man rushes past with a wide pushcart and a red sleeping baby dragon curled up in a dog bed. He wheels the creature to the ovens, opens a small metal door, and pokes its snout. The dragonette lazily cracks its amber eyes and snorts a puff of smoke through its nostrils. The chef tosses it a large green cookie, which the youngling catches in its mouth. It lethargically climbs off the pushcart and sticks its head in the oven. Yellow flame glares around the opening. Another baker opens the main door of the oven, where they place the cookies, and gives an enthusiastic thumbs up. The chief with the pushcart drags the soft bed to the floor, which the little creature curls up in and falls back to sleep. Helsedal must see me watching the process because she says, "Who's Helsedal?"
She's an elf character. This is her only line in the section, but yeah, she's the mother of one of the people that they're on the quest for.
Gotcha. There's no danger to Elandriel. There's no danger to Elenandriel.
There's no danger to Elenandria. The ovens have magic to preserve and distribute the heat.
I nod and hesitate, choosing my words to avoid a question. It'd be good to know when they will be ready.
You'll have a sizable stash by the end of the night.
I nod. Ruridan claps me on the shoulder. And Ruridan is...
The father, Elsadal's husband.
It's a Winterfest miracle. Look at them all go. I'm surprised you're not baking with them. He shakes his head. I've another kitchen to attend. Come, we'll prepare the sea sleigh. Huh. I'd been prepared to just put a few boxes of cookies into my inventory and thunder bridge us back to Arctica, but looking at the sheer size of this operation, I suspect the game has a different mode of transport in mind, even though our inventories are virtually endless. To the sea sleigh, then. All right.
Okay. This was like, fun little baking scene. And this next one is, so they're on these mini barges, which are like, they're kind of like wakeboards, but for the snow, and they're being towed by dire foxes. And so they're having to attack at range while they're being attacked by little demon imps, cold imps.
Okay, that is an adorable action scene.
And so the characters, Mireille, she's a really upbeat elf girl. Lily, she's a goblin with kind of a Boston Jersey accent, and she's a summoner. So her whole thing is she summons creatures and casts magic with her daggers. And then Annette is a were-rat.
Okay. And this is still Justine narrating?
Yeah, it's her eye point of view.
Okay. Mireille is the upbeat elf girl, Lily is the goblin, and Annette is the were-rat. All right.
Yeah, Lily's kind of got a bitchy streak right now because people keep killing her summons. Like she needs to tame something in order to summon it, and when it's at like 10% health, and then something always happens to take her kill, and so she's getting cranky.
Okay, just 1 second, and I'll be ready to go. All right. Our dire foxes are charging at a full sprint, and the wind chill bites into my bones. Another incoming blast of cold fire. I want to toss another chakram, but all I have time to do is duck suddenly, so low that my fingers touch the floor of my mini barge. Taco?
He's a half-elf boy, kind of a smartass.
Taco is it Taco's right though?
Yeah, Taco's correct.
Taco's on point this time, and punctures an imp with his arrow. Mireille, can you paint? It's a skill some archers possess that makes their target glow a different color once hit. It's useful in coordinating attacks and setting up focus fire. Got it! She looses one... Oh, Mireille. Got it! She looses one of her magical arrows that trails green, sparkly energy. It connects with the creature's right wing, and it tumbles out of the sky. It hobbles helplessly on the ground, glowing in the bright green of a glow-in-the-dark toy. A moment later, Annette looses and ends it. Is this Annette here?
No, that's Justine.
Focus on green, or whatever color Mireille paints with. Burn them down one by one. 2 cold magic blasts come at us from either side. We're now close enough to the imps that I can make out their features. Long-chinned like a crescent moon, burning blue eyes, and about 4 feet tall. Unlike other NPCs, they just wear loincloths in the Arctic chill. One hits Annette in the chest, and she drops to one knee. Her head snaps up in a violent fury, and my voice takes on a warning tone. Calm. I'll handle it. She must have pumped her rage into taking extra actions because she knocks an arrow, looses, knocks another arrow, and looses in the time that Mireille or Taco could only have taken 1 shot. 2 long arrow shafts stick out of her target, but it doesn't go down. Maybe we should have gotten her a better bow.
I can't get the magic to stick to the arrows. Lily waves a burning dagger, sending a streak of flame at Annette's target.
It doesn't work on projectiles. You gotta use...
Oh, wait. Jersey?
It doesn't work on projectiles. You gotta use blades.
This is Annette.
Okay.
It works for her. A note of accusation in the Roadkin's voice as she indicates Murray. I'm not binding spells like Lily. The arrows I shoot are the spells. I don't... Murray looses. Her green arrow sticks into the imp to our left, painting it in green light. Just focus on mundane arrows or casting spells for this battle. Try your healing if someone gets hurt. My fox is the closest. We're coming up on the imp. I hurl my dark steel chakram. Arrgh!
Or is it the cold fire mage saying, "Urgh"?
Yeah, it was the cold fire.
Urgh!
You have killed cold fire mage.
I'll just do it in the computer
That's fine.
voice. You have killed Cold Fire Mage. You take 8 cold damage from Cold Fire Iker. You resist 6 points of damage. You are binded for 6 seconds.
The
Blinded.
imp splatters.
Huh?
Blinded.
I think, did I say binded?
Yeah.
You are blinded for 6 seconds.
The imp splatters, sending the black ichor it has instead of blood into my eyes and face. Burn is not the correct word to describe it. It bites for a second before there's nothing at all. I touch my cheek. It's like putting my hand on a frozen steak. I can feel through my fingers, but my head? I instinctively crouch down when I lose my vision, wanting to maintain my balance and not tumble off the barge. Watch out for the blood! It hurts and blinds if it gets in your eyes. My vision begins to clear, and I see Annette waving her hands like she's trying to cast a basic heal, but her gestures grow more frantic with every repetition. Come closer! This is so frustrating. I can't heal from this range. Now that I can see again, I get back to my feet and weight my right foot to ease closer to her. Oh, excuse me. A wave of green cherry blossom scented magic hits me.
Annette heals you for 1 health. 9 health remaining.
Good job, Annette!
Is that supposed to be sarcastic? It's 1 health.
There's only 10 health total, so
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah, so that's 10% of her health.
All right.
I look away from her just in time to duck out of the way of a massive snowball aimed at my head. What the hell? A pudgy snowman with a carrot nose and an ugly coal frown races beside us, the snowball making up its base spinning like the wheel of a motorcycle. It coughs, holds its twig hands up to its face, and pukes more ammunition into its gnarled palms. Still moving, its upper body rears back like a fastball pitcher and hurls it at me. I duck, but Taco's not so lucky as his fox cuts between Annette and myself. The nasty snowball explodes against his chest, sending him flying off his mini-barge. 30% of his health evaporates. Man down! Taco fell off! Watch out! We've also got angry snowmen! Murray's fox breaks away from the pack and loops around back with Taco's dire fox to scoop him up. Lily waves a red-hot dagger and sends a sphere of fire into the snowman that melts him where he stands.
Lily is the elf?
Goblin.
The goblin.
Fire works better on the snowman.
And Frosty's first cup of hot cocoa turned out to be his last. Keep it up! Lily waves her dagger in a salute.
You got it.
Frobod chimes in over party chat. Frobod?
Human Death Knight.
Kryn says we're almost there.
Good. You got company?
Nothing we couldn't handle.
Another imp flaps its batty wings ahead. This time, instead of sending a blast of magic, it launches its 3-pronged fork at me like a javelin. I duck out of the way, and Lily sends a wave of fire its direction. The spell impacts with a sizzling crackle. The little imp screams. Another fork comes flying. Not at me, but at Lily. A vulpine yelp sounds. She's not in a position to dodge, and it thuds into her dire fox's flank, creating a blossom of bright red blood in its white fur. Annette, heal the fox! Her speed decreases, and I call, "Whoa! Whoa!" to slow and guard her. I'm okay, but my mount ain't looking too good. Thanks for asking. Annette's coming. Cold Fire Champion hits you for 7 points of damage. You resist 7 points of damage. Another thrown fork slams into my side. Ah! It doesn't hurt. I take no damage, but it's annoying. It didn't even pierce my armor. Gonna do this old school until Murray and Taco get back. Anel, heal Fox first, then focus on me. Lily, you know what to do. Shadow Step, rank 5. Success. I disappear from my mini barge and reappear behind the Cold Fire Champion that has already been damaged. 60% health remaining. I feel like face-palming because I forgot to equip a melee weapon before shadow stepping. I settle for a roundhouse kick to knock the imp out of the air and shout, "Hey, over here!" at the champion that wounded Lily's mount. Now that I'm within hand-to-hand combat range, I'm surprised to see the nasty little creature is wearing a Santa hat. We're definitely on the right track. Taunt successful. Cold Fire Champion attacks. A new magical throwing fork appears in the faraway monster's hands. It launches the weapon at me. Currently operating in full defensive mode, it's not hard for me to evade. Hot Swap. Success. You have equipped Lightning's Bite. Hot Swap. Rank 3. Weapons, Dexterity, and Dexterity plus Weapons, weapon type, or Dexterity plus Martial Arts. Armor and Accessories, Dexterity plus Athletics, or Dexterity plus Martial Arts. You may change equipment during combat without penalty. In so doing, you must take purely evasive action for 1.5 seconds. Usable only on head, hands, weapon, ring, accessory. It feels good to have Bite in my hands again. I parry an incoming attack with the burned champion's trident near me and begin inching my way toward the one still attacking at range. I can't move too fast, or my attacker will stay put and begin throwing like its buddy. I have to walk slowly, keeping the monster engaged if I want to tank both at melee range. I just healed the dire fox. No, wait, that's Annette, right?
Yeah.
I just healed the dire fox. Good. Come to use and stay in range.
Oh, it should be come to us.
Come to us and
Sorry.
stay in range. Lily, now scuttling through the snow, appears behind the burned champion, which now waddles on the ground. It occurs to me that they're about the same height, which makes it easy for her to shank it, with a red glowing blade that explodes in fiery death on contact.
Lily Goblin.
Yeah, it's for some reason it's really hard for me to go to switch into the Jersey accent.
Cinderburst!
No! Both of us are splattered in the imp's freezing black blood, though thankfully none of it gets in my eyes. My health drops by 10%, but Lily's not built for tanking. The gory blast drops her life by 60%. Ah! Watch the blood! All heals on Lily now! I turn and sprint toward the final champion, which is still airborne. It hurls another fork at me. I leap out of the way and somersault through the snow like I've been living in Antarctica since the age of 6. A non-magical arrow hits the remaining imp. Help, Lily! Barely a sliver falls off its health. I greet the creature with a fierce jump spin hook kick. I greet the creature with a fierce jump spin hook kick that smashes against its pointy-chinned face and sends it rocketing down toward the earth. I expect it to eat snow, but just in time its wings begin to clumsily flap and the imp rises back in the air. You'd think taking out a flying monster would be easy with a weapon as long as Bite, but it's horribly awkward trying to swat something out of the air that's bobbing up and down 3 feet above your head. I can't see Lily, but her health bar in the interface begins to tick higher. Not as fast as if Murray was healing, but I can surmise that Annette's whipping out her minor heals. Gotta start somewhere. Lily's up to 70% health. I'm good. No.
I'm good.
I give her a mental thumbs up, take a swing with Bite, and miss. It's so much easier fighting creatures that are your own height. The Santa hat-wearing imp cackles,
Freeze you!
and stabs down with its little fork. I duck out of the way. Annette looses another arrow. It connects, shaving a little more help off our opponent. A streak of purple color flies over my head and knocks the vile little creature out of the sky. Cold Fire Champion health, 30%. I take another swing. Thump! Not quite as hard as I usually hit, and its health drops 10%. Lily says,
Hold up! Let me catch this one!
I look back and dodge out of the way of another fork strike that was meant for my belly. It's all you! Go for it! Lily rushes in with her weird bag of powder, tosses it in the air. It lands in the pattern of a circle enclosing a mini pointed star. As with the cryo beaver, streamers of
Different
magic. What's that?
Different fight.
Yeah. As with the cryo beaver, streamers of magic energy pass from Lily's forehead to the imps. Their lips aren't moving, but there are occasional gestures as if in conversation. A middle finger, a shake of the head, a shrug, a nod, a look of concern creeping into the monster's face. Suddenly, a streak of green light from the direction we came lands squarely in the center of the imp's back. It falls dead. One of Murray's arrows protrudes from its flesh as it despawns, leaving a red velvet sack of loot where it disappears. Are you frickin' kidding me? Murray leaps off the back of her dire fox and runs, breathing heavily. As soon as she's within range, far greater than Annette's, the green light of nature magic surrounds her hands and then enwraps Lily's body with the accompanying scent of cherry blossoms. Whew! Phew! That was close. Taco waves.
I almost...
No, that's British.
I almost had him.
Murray looks confused. Oh, really? I thought he was attacking since you're not at full health. Lily throws her hands up in frustration.
I swear, it's like you don't want to make any coin.
All right. And that's it. That was a fun... that was a fun scene. Man, I don't know why that Jersey accent kept tripping me up. Man, okay,
Well,
so
thank you for that.
thank you for requesting it. These were both really fun scenes to perform. I actually was kind of sad when the first scene ended because it's
Yeah, that was the end of the chapter right there. And then,
oh, okay. I was having a lot of fun with that elf drill sergeant. But yeah, so absolutely, guys, if you enjoyed this reading, Freehaven Online Book 3, what is it called again? Sorry.
Winter Dungeonland.
Winter Dungeonland is now available on Amazon on Kindle. So check the link below in the description. You'll find book 3, and if you haven't read books 1 and 2 now, is this one standalone at all? Like, how do you
And it is the next step in the story, but there is a little recap at the beginning if you're just coming in and you're picking up as a holiday book. A bit late for that now, but yeah, I mean, it can be standalone, but it's better after the first 2 books.
Okay, cool. So yeah, all 3 books obviously are on Amazon. This is the latest one?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, so go check them out if you enjoyed this one. Thanks again for requesting, June, and I hope to see you with the request poll again soon.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to ask you, is this show only for LitRPG, or do you do things that are not in the genre? Like all the times I've been on, it's been LitRPG.
Yeah, well, our audience is mainly LitRPG, GameLit fans, so that's what they request. But request whatever you want, and people will vote on it or they won't.
Okay.
So,
I wasn't sure if this was a genre-specific thing or if you do everything. Because every time I've watched and listened, it's been LitRPG to the max. So
yeah, it's just that's where I live as far as audio books. But I love other genres. Often people request other things. I mean, probably 90% of our requests are LitRPG. But
yeah, I've noticed that.
Sometimes we get requests that are like super lewd, like just to embarrass me, for what we call cringe theater.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, we have a review
Bonnie Price requested something that I might be reading tonight anyway, after everything's done, depending on how much time we have. She requested Veet hair removal cream for men. It's an Amazon.
well, that's exciting.
It's an Amazon. Yeah. So that's gonna be cringe theater if we get to it. But yeah, June, thanks again for joining us. And
Yeah, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be with you on the show.
yeah, absolutely. You always have fun scenes for us. So we're gonna move on to the next book, and I think that's gonna be. Let's see here. Let me get back to screen share.
I will disconnect and
Thanks so much,
follow along on YouTube.
Awesome. We'll see you in the chat.
Yep.
Djinn Tamer, starter, a monster battling GameLit adventure. So it sounds kind of like a Pokemon type of thing. #1 new release in teen and young adult nature and the natural world fiction ebooks. Okay, so yeah, it's probably fans of Pokemon, Digimon, and Monster Rancher will love this. Okay, cool. So it looks like a pretty dope cover. Looks like a ring, a fox ring, Firefox ring. So yeah, let's check this out. No, we didn't get contacted by the author. So they won't be joining us, but maybe they'll request again sometime and be on the show. Let's see here. So let's get on with this. Now, as I said before, every time we have a show, anything that I'm reading, the links to the Kindle versions are going to be in the description. So if you like what I'm reading, if you're having fun with it, go check it out on Kindle. Now let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis. And let's see if you guys are making any trouble in the chat here. Darastrix Sphere, thank you so much for complimenting Everybody Loves Large Chests. I know you can, I know you can get in trouble for complimenting large chests nowadays, but I appreciate you taking the risk. Okay. And June is now in the chat. All right. New Hades. NM Night Eyes is here. Sorry, guys. Can't contaminate the booth. Ooh. Annie and I did a lot of eating last night. Our last night hanging out before she departed this morning. And we ate quite a bit this morning for breakfast. That's just kind of our thing. Eating food. So, Djinn Tamer, starter, release onto Amazon. Okay, written by Derek Allen Siddoway and AJ Cerna. And here's the synopsis. Oh, you're gonna destroy some tacos? I want some. Tame, train, battle. Fans of Pokemon, Digimon, and Monster Rancher will love this monster battling take on the GameLit genre. Jackson Hunt wants nothing more than to be a professional monster tamer, skilled trainers who raise and battle magical creatures called Djinn. He longs for the day when he comes of age and can leave home to pursue his dreams of taming Djinn. Unfortunately for Jackson, dreams and reality don't always coincide. To help his grandmother make ends meet, Jackson spends his days doing manual labor on a breeder's ranch, just about as far removed from the bright lights and roaring crowds of the
Djinn Battle League as it gets. But no matter how hard Jackson and his grandma try, it's never enough. Facing bank foreclosure, Jackson is desperate to save his home but has no idea how, until he discovers a young, untrained Djinn left behind for him by his dead mother. As time runs out, Jackson works tirelessly to raise and develop a bond with his Djinn. But monster taming isn't as easy as the pros make it look. Along the way, Jackson and his friends will delve into the shady world of underground fighting, experience the agony of defeat, and learn what it takes to be a true monster tamer. Will Jackson and his Djinn level up fast enough, or is his dream destined to die before it even truly begins? All right. All right, let's look at the character descriptions. Jackson Hunt, a bit of an overzealous and overly enthusiastic Djinn Tamer novice. 18 years old, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed to a fault. Expects things to be easier than they are, but is ready to take on the world. Kay Watts, Jackson's best friend. She's the drier voice of reason. Voice is relatively caring, though a bit exhausted by Jackson's enthusiasm of what he doesn't understand. Hollow Watch, basically Siri or Alexa. Jackson has recently found his first Djinn, a Lyote, essentially a fire wolf-looking Djinn, a final gift from his dead mother, and is anxious to start taming her and head to the big leagues. After a series of mishaps, he's finally ready to start some training with his best friend, who is convinced Jackson has no idea what he's doing.
You ready? You ready?
Jackson shouted to Kay. They were in the middle of a field on the outskirts of town. Although it had only been a day and a half since the Lyote's battle with the Phalanx, Jackson convinced Kay to let him try out another fight, this time against her Fenkit, Sunshine. Thanks to the lengthening days, they had about an hour of sunlight when the fields would be abandoned as the local farmers and workers turned in for their evening meal. In the distance, the sound of irrigation drones sounded as they crisscrossed over the fields, watering the grasses and budding crops. Kay let out a long sigh, one of several Jackson had earned since the previous morning.
I guess so.
Nope.
I guess so. I'm still not sure this is a good idea. If you've got a better way for me to get any battle experience, I'd love to hear it,
Jackson said. Before Kay could answer, he punched the air with his ring hand, and the Lyote shot forth in a blaze of light. This time, when she materialized out of stasis on the soft, recently plowed dirt, she gave Jackson a familiar look. He took it as a good sign.
All right, good girl,
he said, reminding himself again that he really needed to figure out a name for the Djinn.
Did you really just praise her?
Kay said from across the field.
She didn't do anything. Oh, so the smack-talking begins?
Jackson said with a smirk before looking down at his Lyote.
Let's show them what we can do, eh?
The Lyote stretched her fanged mouth open in a wide yawn and shook her head, puffing up her fur. It seemed more like the move of a creature preparing to go to sleep than one about to do battle. As if to confirm Jackson's thoughts, the Lyote circled the ground once, twice, then lay down in the cool, freshly turned dirt.
She's a real battle-hardened veteran,
Kay said.
She's just saving her energy. You know that's not what she's doing.
Kay then turned her attention to her Fenkit.
Okay, Sunshine, let's show them what we're made of. Taunt!
On command, Kay's Fenkit trotted toward the Lyote. The mischievous little Djinn sat on his haunches a few feet away from the larger canine and patted at the air, as if egging the Lyote on. Sunshine's long, wide mouth made Jackson think he was smirking at him. Jackson bit back his frustration.
All right, girl, use your wild bite attack.
He tried to keep his voice optimistic, despite his budding frustration. The Lyote looked back at him, then rested her head on her paws before closing her eyes. Across the field, Kay's laughter cut through the calm, still evening.
Hey!
Jackson shouted at the Lyote.
I saved your bacon from that Felix! The least you could do is help me out here!
The Lyote didn't bother to acknowledge him at all this time, unless you counted a long sigh the Djinn heaved as she tried to get more comfortable. Jackson's face reddened.
What the hell am I supposed to do now?
He yelled to Kay. She shrugged.
I don't know. Open your Djinn-cyclopedia and do a scan? Maybe she's not fully healed?
Gritting his teeth, Jackson pointed the ring back at the Djinn and gave it a verbal prompt to do a scan of his Lyote. After a quick blip of soft blue light, a female computerized voice read out the report.
Djinn, Lyote, level 1, element, fire, earth, HP, hit points, 55 out of 55.
Wait, we have a Jun Prince and a Jeremy Prince, or did you change your profile? The Lyote is female. So what? It should still sound like Ryan Reynolds. I don't care. Okay. Lyote is a basic form, fire elemental, and earth elemental combo Djinn. It is an endangered Lyote is a basic form, fire elemental, and earth elemental combo Djinn. It is an endangered species of Djinn that is characterized by its stubborn and wild nature. It is famously difficult to tame, but once trust is gained, it takes a great deal of said trust to break. Lyotes, and each of its derivative evolutionary forms, when found in nature, tend to roam in packs. Excuse me.
However, as their numbers have dwindled, it's become more common to see just one roaming alone or two, usually mates, roaming together. Would you like to know more?
His holowatch asked.
Well, yeah,
Jackson grumbled.
Why won't she listen to me? As stated previously, some Djinn are harder to tame than others, even at low level. As also stated previously, Lyotes are notoriously difficult, the watch answered. Try increasing your bond with the Djinn to improve the likelihood it will understand and to execute your commands.
Oh, she understands just fine, Jackson said, dropping his wrist to shut off the less-than-helpful voice assistant.
I told you,
Kay yelled as Sunshine ran in circles around the sleeping Lyote.
You need to work on your bond before we try to fight. You can't expect her to trust you after being out of stasis 3 times, for crying out loud. The two of you should spend more time together. What am I supposed to do? Buy her dinner? Making jokes right now won't help. Oh, you're the expert now, huh?
Jackson said, trying to curb his mounting irritation.
You don't even battle your Djinn. I know how to raise one, though,
Kay replied with a frown.
You're forgetting I've had Sunshine for almost 9 years, and Fenkits are much easier to tame and bond with.
As if to illustrate his tamer's point, Sunshine ran full tilt toward Kay and leapt into her arms. Kay laughed as the Fenkit started licking her face. After a few moments, she pulled the small tan-colored Djinn away and sat him back on the ground. Jackson rolled his eyes.
Yeah, we get it. You're adorable.
Even so, he frowned at the Lyote Djinn in front of him. He really, really wanted to show Kay what was up, but with an uncooperative Djinn, he couldn't even start a battle, let alone win one.
Please, he begged to the Lyote, do something? Anything?
The Djinn watched her ear, but otherwise ignored him. The Djinn twitched her ear, but otherwise ignored him. Still determined to harass Jackson as much as possible, Sunshine ran circles around the Lyote, yipping in what could only be laughter at Jackson's clenched fists and reddening face. Growing even bolder, the Fenkit leaped back and forth over the Lyote, who ignored Sunshine completely. Kay collapsed to the ground, laughing so hard she couldn't breathe.
Ah!
Jackson shouted at his Djinn.
Are you going to let him do that to you? He's taunting you, girl! Show him who's boss! Attack!
Of course, the Lyote ignored him. Jackson was about to recall the belligerent Djinn to her ring and leave it there for a week when Sunshine made an even bolder move. Standing in front of the Lyote's face, it yipped right into her ear. The Lyote opened her eyes and looked at the Djinn before standing up and turning around to lie in the other direction. Now it was Sunshine's turn to be annoyed. Instead of letting the dismissal go, the Fenkit ran around to face the Lyote again. This time, instead of barking, it darted forward and nipped the Lyote on the nose. In a flash of orange, the Lyote let out a yip of surprise and anger and charged the Fenkit. Sunshine took off at full speed, sending a shower of dirt behind him as he streaked across the barren field, the Lyote in close pursuit. Oh, that's actually like a rolling shutter problem, the strobing of the light. Because, it's not actually strobing in here. It's just the camera being dumb. Excuse me, guys.
Sunshine!
Kay yelled, exasperated.
What did you have to do that for? That was not nice!
Jackson laughed for the first time since the battle started.
That annoying little Fenkit is going to get his now!
Although Sunshine moved like lightning, the Lyote's longer legs soon won the race. Once she closed the distance, the Lyote tackled the Fenkit in a single bound. The two Djinn became a whirlwind of fur, fangs, snarls, and yips as they tussled.
Ha!
Jackson said as he and Kay ran toward the pair. The Lyote was finally fighting.
Told you so! You realize neither of us are yelling out any commands, right?
Kay said.
This isn't a real battle. It's more like a street fight. Does it matter? I'm winning. You're so obnoxious. You think that'll really last long?
As if on cue, the fight started to turn. Even though the Lyote had size on her side, the Fenkit's higher level and experience started to show. Just as Jackson popped open his stat screen, Sunshine dodged a snap on the Lyote's teeth, and charged into the side of the opposing Djinn. Yelping, the Lyote did a sideways somersault. The soft dirt lessened the impact, but before the Lyote could recover, Sunshine kicked a cascade of dirt into her face. Shaking her head to rid her eyes of the dirt, the Lyote noticed the Fenkit's second charge too late. Sunshine drove the Lyote hard into the ground, and Jackson's display projection flashed red around the edges, indicating a critical strike.
All right, he yelled at Kay. Call him off. You win. Come on, that's enough, Sunshine,
Kay said. Since she wasn't actually a tamer, he had no ring to return to, and simply jumped into her arms and nuzzled her face. Jackson ran to his Lyote's side just as the Djinn rose on shaky legs and shook the dirt from her fur. When Jackson reached out a hand to comfort her, she snapped at his fingers.
Hey! It's not my fault,
he told the Lyote.
Yes, it is,
Kay said.
I told you this was a bad idea, but you just wouldn't listen. You can't fight with a Djinn if you don't get along, Jackson.
I'm trying, Jackson replied through gritted teeth.
You're trying to fight when you should be focusing on raising your bond. It's like trying to run a marathon before you even know how to stand, let alone walk. It's only been 2 days, okay? I'm sure if we try again tomorrow... No, Kay said, shaking her head. Absolutely not. I refuse to put that poor Lyote through any more beatings until you can show you actually care about her. You got that? But no, Jackson, Kay said again. And don't you dare try to fight any wild Djinn either. And don't you dare try to go fight any wild Djinn either. Or I'll tell your grandma. You wouldn't,
Jackson said. But he knew he was wrong. Kay was studying to be a Djinn therapy aide. Keeping Djinn safe and well was her whole purpose in life. Kay's eyebrows rose.
You want to find out?
Oh, wait.
You want to find out?
Jackson sighed and glanced at the Lyote, who was half-heartedly licking her wounds. She looked exhausted again. Not as bad as after the feeling sprawl, but definitely not 100%. He didn't need to pull up her stats to notice that. I promise, he said at last, I'm going to spend every chance I get with her this week, and if it goes well, will you maybe consider training with me again next weekend? Kay pursed her lips, then nodded. Before Jackson could thank her, however, she held up a finger. Only if your bond increases. Otherwise, no. Deal, Jackson said. He turned to the Lyote and held out his fist toward her. As soon as the stone started glowing, the Lyote let out a whine and cowered away. Jackson frowned in concern. What's the matter with her? He asked Kay. Did Sunshine hurt her bad? I don't think so, Kay said. If that was the case, I would think she'd go in without a fuss. Maybe she just doesn't like it after being in there so long? Do you want to walk part of the way home, girl? Do you want to walk part of the way home, girl? Jackson asked the Lyote. In response, the Djinn wagged her tail and stood. Jackson hesitated. It was a risky move. If anyone knew he saw him with a Djinn... Word traveled fast in a small town. The Lyote whined again, however, and Jackson didn't have the heart to force her into the ring. All right, he said with a sigh. Let's go. In spite of all her previous disobedience, the Lyote jumped up at once and padded along beside Jackson. He noticed Kay covering a smile as they began to head home. What's so funny? He asked, still agitated from the last half-hour's events. She shook her head, and they continued in silence. When Jackson looked down at the Lyote, the setting sun bathed her vermilion fur in a fiery glow. A soft vibration sounded from his watch, and he opened the Djinn's stat sheet to see a slight increase in their bond. As if noticing the attention, the Lyote glanced up at him, tongue lolling out happily as she walked along. And that's it. Okay, so pretty much a basic Pokemon fight. Oh my god. You gotta stand up for a little bit, guys. Oh, not comfortable. Pretty well written, I gotta say. I had fun with it a bit. It is geared towards. Oh wait, I can't do that. It is geared towards. Well, yeah, I could do that. It's fine. It is geared towards a younger audience, but if that doesn't bother you, then I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself. So again, it is the link to the Kindle version is in the description down below. So, what is next? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt. Okay, so The Five Trials by Mike Truk. I've seen this before. I saw it a long time ago, and I was like noticing how well it was doing. But I was unable to get a hold of the author, and then they had it produced by Audible, so they got taken care of. That's cool. Actually, if you check out the Audible version, again, the link to the Amazon link to this is in the description below, and you can find the audiobook there. Oh, and it's Whisper Sync, so you can get it for $2 if you have Kindle Unlimited. You check out The Five Trials, then get it on Audible for $2. So he got it done by Audible Studios, and the narrator they got, Leo Barnabas. I have not heard of him before, but I did listen to this sample, and he's pretty damn good. So the audio would probably be a good option for you guys. And so anyway, let's check out the synopsis. Okay, so this is potentially cringe theater. So you might want to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because there might be something graphic in the request. I'm not sure. I'm just going to be reading from the beginning because no one sent in a script or anything. So I just checked. I just got it on Kindle Unlimited. All right, let's see. How can I'll try a different narration voice. My name is Noah Kilmartin.
I'm from Ruddock, Ohio, and I'm absolutely 100% unqualified to save the universe from the slavering demonic hordes of the super evil bitch Queen Lilith. Too bad nobody asked my opinion. Excuse me. That's a pretty intense opening already. Sorry about my itchy nose, guys. All I've got to do is pass 5 lethal trials that'll prove I'm the universe's last chance at salvation. To do so, I'll have to lean hard on those 3 years of Okinawan jiu-jitsu classes I took in high school, learn to wield my new magic sword, and, oh yeah, select 5 women to flesh out my team, bonding with each one for arcane purposes and desperately trying to stay alive in the process. Piece of cake, right? Warning and minor spoilers. The 5 Trials is a book intended for mature listeners ages 18 years and older. It contains graphic sex, medieval violence, and nudity. People curse, piss their pants, hack off heads, get a little dizzy and tortured, seduce each other, try to seduce each other, and get scared witless by horrors from the darkest dimensions. Most importantly, you'll meet gorgeous, powerful women, some capable of hurling lightning, others of swinging battle axes, and one that's Noah's unrequited crush from high school. All of them are willing to enter unconventional polyamorous harem relationships if it means saving the universe, and luckily for Noah, this time it actually does. All right, sounds familiar. This is harem, everybody. So, let's see here. We'll just do chapter 1. Oh shit. Am I still screen sharing? Sorry guys. Ah! Okay. I'm back. Only NSFW. Okay. Okay, so real quick before I get started on this chapter, someone asked, Kremno asked how Sound Booth Theater decides how we, which audiobooks we want to do. So sometimes I go looking for them, or, other SBT members do. Justin is actually the only other one of us who goes looking for books. But mostly we get approached by authors. Authors can send an email to acquisitions@soundbooththeater.com with their book, their a link to their book, and any data that they can show us that proves that what they have is something that is potentially profitable for us to work on, because we only do royalty share. We don't do pay up front for audiobooks. This is because we like to have our skin in the game, and we actually put more effort into production than most audiobook production companies, because we like to have a lot of fun with our audiobooks. We like to make them fully immersive experiences. Often we have sound effects or music now, and we have at least 2 actors on every book. We don't ever do single narrator books anymore because we have the staff to at least fill in the opposite sex of the narrator. There's always males and females in every book, so our crew is always our stuff is always multicast. Our crew is always busy. We're booked months ahead. But, if you have a cool project coming up and you want Sound Booth Theater to do the book, email us at acquisitions.com, acquisitions@soundbooththeater.com. Sorry about that. And we'll take a look. We can't promise that we'll respond because we get a lot of requests and we're very busy. But if what you have looks profitable, we will be in touch. So that's how we decide. All right. This is The Five Trials by Mike Truk. Chapter 1. I knew it was a bad idea. God damn it. But I knew I was fucking up even as I saw the Greyhound bus's headlights turn the corner of Aviston Avenue. Okay. And start heading our way. Emma watched it come, frowning as if she recognized just how much this bus was going to change her life, and without a thought as to how it was going to wreck mine. She had her ticket in hand. One way to New York City. Emma! My voice was a croak. She didn't even hear me, so fixated was she on her future and that damn bus. The bus I'd encouraged her to take. Emma! She turned to me with a distracted smile, and my heart skipped a beat as the headlights illuminated her long, straight blonde hair from behind, turning it silver. Her face was shadowed, but I knew it so well I could picture her half-smile perfectly. Emma! I felt like I was drowning. The next word might end my friendship with her. Might make me look insane. But it was now or never, and I didn't want to die a coward. Don't! What? The question was light, confused, as if I'd just said garble-farble instead of an English word. Don't get on the bus! I had trouble meeting her eyes, shadowed as they were. It took all my strength to hold her gaze. Don't... I saw her blink as she tried to process the idea. I'd been her champion these last 6 months, the only person in favor of her leaving our little podunk town for the big city so as to cash in on her recent success. I'd encouraged her to stand up to her parents, the dean of students, her advisor, her other friends, and now I was telling her not to do it? Madness. I'll be fine, she said, reaching out to touch my arm. I'm a big girl, Noah, and Jen will be waiting for me at Penn Station. Don't worry. The bus was almost upon us, looming large like my own personal manifestation of doom. No, I said, my voice strangled. Don't go to New York. Why not? A new tone of tension in her voice. Impatience? Confusion giving way to annoyance? I love you. The words tore themselves free of my lips before I could stop them. And I wanted to die. The bus pulled up next to us and the hydraulic doors wheezed open. College kids immediately began stepping out, laughing or checking their phones, filling the sidewalk around us as they waited for their luggage. The light streaming through the bus windows finally lit Emma's face, and her expression made my heart sink and stomach clamp into knots. Not shock, not surprise, but a mixture of sadness and resignation. Regret, almost. That I'd brought this up, that I'd not been strong enough to keep it to myself. Noah, she began, searching for the right words, and I wanted the pavement to open up and swallow me right there and then. You know I love you too. But you're like a brother to me, you know? She'd never looked more beautiful than she did right then as my last, wildest, and most insane hope died on the altar of mistaken bravery. Large, clunky headphones around her neck, pale blonde hair glowing near silver in the white light, her white t-shirt doing little to hide the generous swell of her chest under her black jacket. 4 years spent playing lacrosse and doing track had helped her develop an amazing physique. Emma was stunning. Everyone had always guessed she'd moved to NYC, but they joked that it would be to model, never guessing she'd go to run her own miniature media empire. I'm not your brother, I said. I felt like I was drowning, but determined to find a piece of straw. I'm a man, and I'm finally saying what I've always felt, and I love you, Emma. Don't go. Stay here. With me. Stay here. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I should have asked to go with her. No way she'd ever stay in our town, not with so many memories of Michael around each corner. The driver hopped out of the bus, cinched his belt up higher, and moved to the luggage undercompartment.
He pulled it open and hauled the first suitcase out. A pink Hello Kitty number.
Noah,
She curled a strand of hair behind her head.
you of all people know why I have to go. You encouraged me to do this.
There. The sound of betrayal. I'd been her only champion, and at the moment of truth, I was failing her. I know. And I meant everything I said. You need to go, but just give me 3 months to get my shit together. I'll come with you. We can get a place in Brooklyn. I'll help you set up your equipment, you know? We can explore New York together, and... Emma shook her head.
I don't love you, Noah. Not like that. I'm sorry.
It was like a punch right to the chest. The words died in my mouth. Of course she didn't. She'd only ever loved Michael, the third member of our unbreakable triad since 7th grade. Michael, who died 8 months ago when a Corolla had run a red light and smashed into his motorbike. Half the suitcases were gone. I had maybe a minute left before Emma got on the bus. But what could I do? Ruin my relationship with my best friend even further?
I'll call you from New York, yeah?
Emma's voice was kind, and that hurt the most of all. Real life wasn't like the movies. The dweeb best friend never got the hot girl. She'd move on, forget all about Ruddock, Ohio, and Noah Kilmartin, and instead meet some funky, handsome Brooklyn photographer or whatever and disappear from my life forever. Yeah, I whispered. Good luck. A searing light blinded me, and then a wave of cacophonous sound engulfed us like an avalanche. I screamed as I fell to the pavement, reaching for Emma, some blind instinct making me try to protect her even as the world went mad. Pain as I hit the concrete paver, the rending shriek of metal being torn asunder, screams sounding thin against the rumbling roar of whatever had hit the bus. I rolled and came up on all fours more by reflex than intent, but my head was spinning. What the fuck? Emma! I shook my head, trying to clear it. She lay a few yards from me on her back, head turned away, pale blonde hair flared out like a corona across the sidewalk. Not moving. Emma! I struggled to my feet. The bus. Something had plowed right through it. I mean, it was literally torn in half, as if a flaming meteor had cut it in twain. Blood, corpses, the sidewalk was covered with the dead. My eyes widened as I inhaled, a deep breath that seemed like it would never end, the carnage plunging me into a deeper state of shock. They were all dead. The other kids. I stood there, swaying. Emma. I began to stagger toward her when a thought occurred to me. What had plowed through the bus? And where had it gone? I turned to stare at the bus station. The Greyhound office was but one of the stores on the ground floor of a 3-story office building in a dead-end part of town. That office was utterly wrecked. A metal pod the size of a car had slammed into it, shattering the glass and front wall and embedding itself in a crater deep in the back. Smoke rose from it as if it were superheated. I peered closer, squinting. The pod looked completely alien. It was covered in weird runes and looked to have been made from hundreds of overlapping plates of rusted iron and lead. A satellite? Had a satellite just fallen on us? But why hadn't it melted when entering the atmosphere? I stood there, trying to make sense of what I was seeing when I heard a deep, reverberating growl. Something like a Rottweiler on steroids. The kind of sound that plucks the deepest primal chords in a person, so that despite my shock, I felt my stomach try to crawl even higher into my chest. I turned around and gave a panicked laugh. I mean, yeah, not the most heroic response to seeing your first genuine as fuck real monster, but this was all just too much. My mind was that close to snapping. Stalking toward Emma was some kind of Freddy Krueger monster dog the size of a pony. It was all rippling muscle and scarred flesh, its head brutalized as if someone had alternated between trying to flay it and broil it in an oven. Its mouth was huge, though, and filled with what looked like shark teeth. I grabbed my head and took a step back, wanting to laugh again. Seriously? What the fuck was going on? The monster dog growled again, the deep basso rumble that made me want to shit my pants, then stopped to look down at where Emma lay. I saw its nostrils narrow as it inhaled. Then it turned toward her. Hell no. I may be the world's greatest loser, and maybe I wasn't ever going to amount to shit, but seeing that thing move toward Emma lit a spitting core of resolve in me. I scooped up a chunk of cement the size of my fist and threw it with everything I had at the dog. The chunk bounced off the side of its head, a stunningly accurate throw, and caused it to stop and swivel its head around to stare at me. Almost in incredulity, like it was thinking, "Really? You really want to fuck with me?" "Hey!" My voice shook so bad it was barely a shout. "You! Ugly motherfucker! Get away from her!" I turned all the way around, limbs stumpy like a huge bulldog's. It growled again, and this time, I did pee myself. Look, I'm not proud of it, but it's the goddamn human reflex in the face of mind-numbing terror and imminent death, okay? The dog crouched as if to leap, and I staggered back, hot wetness running down my leg. Then it was leaping through the air, and I screamed and threw myself into my own dive, over the shattered remnants of the front wall into the Greyhound office. My shoulder hit rubble and pain flared through me as I came up, rolling onto my feet. 3 years of getting my ass whooped on the judo mat had just paid off for the first time in my whole life. The dog monster slammed into what was left of the wall and shattered it, sending chunks flying inside. It shook its head and began stumping its way toward me. Shit, I said, moving back, trying not to trip, looking for something I could use as a weapon. This being a Greyhound office, I had few options beyond staplers and computer monitors. Shit! As I drew close to the still smoking pod thing, it hissed and moved, the interlocking pieces sliding apart to reveal an inner compartment where some dude lay strapped into a seat, head lolling to one side. He looked exactly like the kind of guy I wished would appear by my side to help me fight this monster. Ripped and handsome and lethal looking. But he was dead. His temple was smushed in, and blood was running from his nose and mouth. A sword was strapped to the inside of the pod's door, however. Panicked, thinking it was better than a stapler, I leaned in, grabbed it by the hilt, and yanked it free. And holy shit. A wave of warmth and power flowed through me as if I'd just mainlined some kind of amazing drug. My aches and pains faded away, and the sword itself glowed with a faint white luminescence. It was light in my hand and seemed to know what to do. I moved it before me to hold it with both hands like I'd seen the older kendo guys do at the dojo, and then stared past its curved blade to where the dog had paused. I knew this was the moment for an awesome one-liner, but nothing came to mind. I was still terrified. The dog growled warningly, as if advising me to put the sword down before I hurt myself. "Come get some," I whispered. It was the best I could do. "Thanks, Ash." Nice reference, thank you. The dog roared and lunged at me. I screamed, and despite my resolve, tried to leap aside, closing my eyes in panic. I was too late. The dog fell upon me like a ton of bricks, and everything burst into fireworks as I was knocked off my feet. I rolled and smashed my head against something. Somehow I held onto the sword, and when I opened my eyes, the dog lay across my lower body, slumped over and still. My sword had somehow carved a wickedly deep cut from under its chin, across its throat and through its shoulder, as if that massively muscled and scarred hide were as soft as butter. Excuse me. I blinked. It took me like 5 seconds to understand. It was dead. I'd killed it. Wait, no. Let's be honest here. Excuse me. The sword had killed it. I'd just been lucky enough to be the dude holding it. "Emma!" I croaked. I tried to wiggle free and failed. Grunting, stars appearing in my vision as I fought, I heaved and struggled to pull free. The thing had to weigh as much as a car. Finally, with a cry, I slid out from under it, and heaving for breath, I rose to my feet. The sword was glowing brighter. In fact, it was starting to pulse, slowly but with growing speed. Emma. I had to check on her. I stumbled out of the office, trying not to look at the bodies. A few people had run up from across the block and were staring in horror at the scene, most of them on their phones, a few holding their phones up to record what had happened. Emma was stirring as I fell to my knees beside her, sword still in hand. None of her bones looked broken. No blood blossomed through her clothing. I reached down to pull the hair free of her face, but stopped. My hand glistened red-black with dog blood. Noah? Her voice was faint, as if she were traveling from far away back to her body. I'm here, I said, feeling a surge of protective love and fierce pride in having saved her life. Holy shit, that was right. I'd literally saved her life, protecting her with a fucking sword against a dog monster. I held up the blade, eyes going wide again in wonder. I'd saved the love of my life with a sword, which was pulsing with greater brightness and speed. I held it at arm's length. Was it going to explode or something? What happened? Asked Emma, eyelids fluttering. It's okay, I said, lying through my teeth. You're fine. I'm going to call an ambulance, and you're going to be fine, I promise. Holding the sword with one hand, I dug in my pocket for my phone. I pulled it free, then grimaced. The screen was shattered, and it wouldn't turn on. Didn't matter. The dozens of spectators were calling the cops and ambulances already. What's that light? Asked Emma, raising a hand to shield her eyes. What happened? An alien space pod crashed through the bus, and then a dog monster, like one of those Ghostbuster hellhounds, tried to eat you, but I killed it with a sword after peeing myself. The, light is from my, sword. Emma tried to sit up, face clenching in effort. Hey, easy, I said, pushing her back down. Wait for the ambulance. The sword was freaking out. It was basically strobing at this point. I knew I should hurl it aside, but it was like a symbol of my recent heroism, and I was still getting warmth and strength from it. Felt power flooding through me from the hilt. No, I'm scared, said Emma. I can't feel my legs. Her voice was tight with panic, but still she spoke with forced calmness. Hang in there, Emma. Her fear gave me strength. I felt like I could do anything to protect her. The more afraid she became, the stronger I'd become to compensate. I couldn't look at the sword any longer. I squeezed my eyes shut tight and looked away as it went nova in my hand. Too late, I tried to throw it away, reaching out for Emma at the same time. My hand closed on her shoulder, and then everything flared lightning bolt white, and my head was filled with a rushing, roaring sound like a choir composed of every angel in the universe belting out one of Beethoven's symphonies. The world fell away. When I opened my eyes, the bus, the station, the people on their phones, and everything else was gone.
Welcome, Savior, the voice boomed from high above. Welcome to your destiny.
And that's chapter 1 of the 5 trials. That was pretty cool. A fun way to start a book. A very familiar social scene. And fun action. I thought it was really well written. I'm impressed with this book already. So if you guys enjoyed that, be sure to check out the Kindle link in the description below. You can buy it on Amazon. If you get it on Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for $2 on Audible because it's WhisperSync. And yeah, written by Mike Truk, narrated by, who was it again? Narrated by Leo Barnabas, who, as far as I could tell, was really good. So, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I think I'm going to depart. I was thinking about reading that Amazon review, but maybe next time. I'm feeling tired and want to wrap it up. So,
yeah, if you this is your first time here at Sound Booth Theater Live, please hit the thumbs up button if you liked this video, if you liked the stream. If you want to investigate more Sound Booth Theater Live, or you want to be notified when we have more Sound Booth Theater Lives in the future, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button if you want notifications. We have more than 150 videos now, so check those out if you have time. You can binge on them. There's lots to watch. Um, and yeah, you can find our mailing list at soundbooththeater.com. You can find the Facebook groups where we hang out in the description below. And don't forget our Discord channel. And lastly, I want to say one more time that we are sponsored by Studio Bricks, the manufacturers of the booth that I am currently occupying. It's it's probably my favorite tool in my tool bag. The most important thing about narrating is having the correct space to narrate in. And not only is this thing very easy to put together, you can put it together in like 30 minutes once they deliver it to your door. It's very stylish looking. It looks like something out of Stargate or something. And it's, in my opinion, the best booth out there on the market. So check out, if you're an aspiring voice actor, or if you're an indie narrator and you need a new space to record in, check out studiobricks.com and you can find all their products there. So thank you guys one more time for hanging out with me, and hope to see you again sometime soon. Bye.